All right, good evening there. How are you doing this beautiful evening? Welcome to the How Can I Support My Child series. Yes, if you can see me, you can hear me. Aha, I think we are live. Good evening again, everyone, and welcome to the How Can I Support My Child series. That show where we answer the questions that parents ask us about how they can parent more effectively. My name is Maribel Chima, and today's show we're going to be answering the question: how can I support my child to be more confident in their independent learning? How can I support my child so that when my child is learning independently, the child is not second guessing themselves? The child is not afraid that they do not know what they are doing. The child is confident and the child has confidence in their own ability. All right, parents, children grow confident or they build their confidence, yes, first from home. Right, they build their confidence first from home, and that confidence is a direct pull from our energy. So our presence, our energy, and what we bring to the table when we are with our children. All right, if I can put it like that. So when you spend time with your children, when you are present for your children, when you support your children, right, what you bring to that support system, or how you are in that support system, or whether you show up in that support system at all, is how your child is going to build confidence. So confidence is first built from home. Now a confident child, right, that is now pass through a system where they can build skills and they can learn, right? And they can learn about whatever subject or whatever it is that they have to learn. Now, the more our children learn and practice the things that they are meant to learn, the more confident they are in their ability to deliver that thing. And now that the child has knowledge, now that the child has got information, add that to the fact that the child has a good sense of who they are, a good sense, a good self-esteem, all right, which of course is what makes us confident. All right, so add that to the degree of confidence that the child has, the kind of self-esteem that the child possesses, and of course your child becomes a confident learner. A confident learner is that learner that does not second guess themselves. A confident learner is that learner that is not afraid to do things differently. A confident learner is that learner that even while they are learning, even while they are learning, even if the way they are learning is different from the way other people are learning, or whatever it is, the outcome of their learning is, even when that is different from what other people are getting, the child is still confident into their work. All right, so the confident learner is a learner who is not afraid to be different. He's the learner who is not afraid to back what it is that he has, that he has discovered, or back what it is that he has found. So the confident learner is the innovate is the inventor, right? The confident learner is a creative, is an inventor, right? And all of that. So a confident learner is that person who discovers new things because they are not second guessing themselves. Now, when a child is not confident, when a person is not confident and they are not confident in the abilities that they have, what you find is they are constantly looking at the next person. They are constantly peeping at the next sheet. They are constantly second guessing themselves. They are constantly looking for validation, all right, because they do not have confidence in their own ability. They are not sure that they are sure that they are sure of what it is that they know. All right, so a confident child learns to be confident in the process. All right, so this is what we want to do. How do we get our children to this point where our children become so confident that even in their learning, they are not afraid to learn, they are not afraid to discover new things, they're not afraid to stand by the things that they have discovered, and they're not afraid to learn more things. This is what it is that we should be aiming at as parents. All right. This is what we should be aiming at for all of our children. If we're going to raise children who are highly successful, children who will stand their own, children who will break new grounds, all right? Because, of course, it takes, confidence. It takes confidence and you being trusting in your ability for you to discover new things and not be and not second guess yourself, right? So people who have gone ahead of us, people who before us have discovered, great things, have created, discovered great inventions, and all of that. It takes being confident for you to discover something new and put it out there and be ready for all the questions and all the scrutiny that will come from whatever it is that you have invented or innovated. Think about what it was for the Thomas Edisons of this world, what it was for the Wright brothers of this world, people who made discoveries that no one had ever made before, right? I'm sure it took a lot of daring, it took a lot of confidence for them to put out what it is that they had discovered. It took a lot of convictions of themselves. Like, you must have convinced yourself that I know, right, that I'm doing the right thing. All right, it takes a lot. It must have taken a lot of confidence for you to put something that could actually be hazardous, something that can actually cause harm to people, for you to actually go through it, come up with it, and say to everyone, I know what I have created and I believe in what it is that I have created. And yes, this can be our children. Even at, at a time like this can be our children. This can be any of us if we have, the right boost of self-esteem, the right boost of confidence, okay, and if we have learned right from people who have raised and have helped us to build that confidence, and to build confidence uh in our abilities, basically. So it all starts with your ability to learn independently and be confident in that learning. Your ability to learn independently and not continuously put yourself down. When you do something, you believe in the thing that you have done. And I'm pretty sure for most of these people, it's the job, the work that they had done, what they had put into it, and the process that they have gone through that made them confident about, their inventions and all of that. So yes, what can we do today in the world that we are today? What can we do in the present world, the way things are, to raise children who will still have this kind of confidence, who will still have this kind of faith in themselves and confident in their abilities to discover and to put the things that they've discovered out there without second guessing themselves, without doubting themselves, and without being afraid to show the world what it is that they have discovered. It takes a lot, as I have said, but then we can raise children who are like this. And it comes with the process, it comes with the learning, it comes with the knowledge that they've gathered, it comes with all of these things. So what is your part as a parent, and what can we begin to do right now to bring our children to that space where our children become confident learners who are confident in the skills that they have built? I said, when I started, that confidence is actually built from home. It is from home, dear parents. All right, so let's look at a few things that we can do, that we can begin to do right now, all right, to make our children come to that place where they are confident in their ability. All right, so it is confidence first, and then it is skill. When we have a good boost of confidence and the right skills in place, then our children begin to believe in what it is that they can do. So the confidence is already there, and then the child goes on to learn the skills that they need. And so when they apply that skills, covered or carried or backed with the confidence that they have, then they become confident in their own ability. It's not about bragging, it's about being sure of what it is that you carry and what it is that you are capable of. All right, so this is what we're talking about. In the Mastermind Circle, our peer mentorship and accountability group, the children are working this month. The children are actually looking inward and discovering all of those great things that they have inside of them, all of those superpowers that they have. That's how we love to call it. We love to call it superpowers. All right, the superpower that your children have, the skills, the talents that your children have, the things that your children know how to do so well, the things that your children do without an effort, without too much effort. They just do it, and they do it so well that it is obvious that there is something more in that child, or there is something more in how the child goes about doing the same thing that other people do, and yet the child stands out. Now, if we do not stop and pay attention to these things, then we are going to be building their confidence in a vacuum, because indeed champions are champions because they are winners. So even if you like, chance and affirm your children from today to tomorrow. I mean, from today to thy kingdom come. Tell them how great they are and all of that. If you do not guide them to see their greatness, if you do not guide them to do things that make them agree and believe that they've got greatness, then they may not believe it themselves, because there is really nothing, there is no evidence to back the fact that they are great. So while we are telling, or we are trying to pump our children and make them know that they have greatness inside of them, we must point them to that greatness and help them live that greatness, so that even they can believe it, and the world will affirm them for the greatness that they have. All right, but how do we get there? We will get there by first making sure we are present to identify the things that our children do well. So we cannot teach them confidence. We cannot build their confidence. We cannot make them see themselves as great in a vacuum. It has to be within something, and that something is the talents that we find in them, the things that they do well. And so we begin to hone them. As we hone them, all right, the children will practice, the children will be consistent, the children will do this, the children will gain mastery. And it is in gaining that mastery that they are building their confidence, they are building their self-esteem, and of course they are creating, and they are innovating, and they are discovering, and all of that. So these are the things that we're talking about. Recently, the team and I put together, so we just put together a challenge, another challenge. We do challenges a lot in PTM. So we just put together another challenge. And this time we put that challenge because we realized that many times what we have is, it's parents who either do not know what to do when they are present with their children. They don't know what to do when they are present with their children. Or parents who do not think they have the time to be actually present. Or parents who are actually there sometimes and are not pregnant and present. They may be there, but they are not present. All right. And even when they are there, they don't know what to do to make the children feel their presence. All right. So what we are doing in the challenge is, we want to give you an opportunity to do something practical, something engaging, something fun, all right, with your child every day for 14 days. All right. The team is saying, I even told the team, I said, I think we should do it for 21 days. But they're like, Coach Mary, but you like long challenges. All right. Let's keep it at 14 days. So we're thinking of keeping it at 14 days. But this is it. Think about 14 straight days of showing up with your child for 45 minutes every day. All right. I am telling you, what you will achieve in those 14 days, even you will not believe it. And I'm not kidding you. What you will achieve showing up, not just showing up, not just showing up with activities that do not add up. We're going to be showing up with activities that will buttress, or that will harness your child's potential, because we're going to be helping you pay attention to your child as a learner. What kind of learner is your child? And if you are a parent that doesn't even know exactly how your child learns, oh, everybody has been saying my child is kinesthetic, my child is this, and simply because you know that your child likes to move a lot, you have just concluded, oh yeah, it has to be kinesthetic too. What we'll do is, in the first 5 days of this challenge, you will be able to figure out what kind of learner your child is. You'll be able to tie that to the way that your child loves being affirmed, all right, the way that your child loves being loved. And then with these together, you add these two things, and with that, you are able to take on the activities for the rest of the challenge, showing up with and for your child in the way that your child will learn. We have all the activities packed for us. I am the queen of activities, right? Yes, I'm the queen of activities, and these activities are not just any activities. They are actually activities that are structured and tailored, right, to help accelerate learning in your children. So we have activities that will cover every area of your child's learning. And so Yes, by the time you do these activities consistently for 14 days, you would have bonded with your child. You will know how to show up for your child. The times that you have and the times that you show up for your child, you know what to do with them when you are with them. And you know something? It's not even going to be so technical that you have to drop everything and all of that. These are activities that you can do on the go. Some of them are going to be activities that you will do during your morning routine, activities that you will do during your drive to school, activities that you would do right at different times. You do while you're cooking together, activities that you can do when you are having a stroll. We will get you engaging with your child actively so that you can bond with your children and you can support them. All right, so that you can bond with your children and you can support them in this challenge. It's going to be such an amazing one, and usually our challenges are affordable. We just want you to challenge yourself to do something that you don't do ordinarily every day, or challenge yourself to do something that you probably do once in a while. We want you to stay in there. We love consistency because of the kind of children or the group of children that we work with. Because of the group of children that we work with, we know the place of consistency. So every time we put a challenge together is because we want to reinforce the fact that consistency is important, and we don't just want to say it. We want to get you to practice consistency, and then we don't want you to do it without anything. We don't want you to do it in a vacuum. So we provide you with the things that you can apply so that you actually go into that challenge yourself and get the results that we are looking at. All right, your children are our priority, and so anything that will benefit the child at the end is what we are all about. All right, but more than that, we know that it's going to be a win-win situation. So it's going to be a win for you and it's going to be a win for your child, and that's why we're putting the challenge together. So yes, let's look at 7 things that you can do that can help your child become more confident as a learner, that will help boost your child's confidence in their own independent learning skill. Number 1 is you want to create structure. See, there's nothing we would say about this group of children. There's nothing we will teach you. There's nothing that we will share with you when it comes to supporting this group of children, young children and preteens, that we will not talk about structure. So if you hear me talk about structure every time I come on this show or any other show, or anytime I'm talking about young children, school age children and preteens, it is because I am emphasizing the fact that one of the biggest strategy that you need in parenting this kind group of children, one of the biggest strategy that you need in supporting this group of children, one of the biggest strategy that you need to motivate this group of children is that you create structure. So you want to create a structured learning environment, all right? An environment that has routines, an environment that is predictable. Children thrive where they can predict, their environment. They can predict, what it is that is needed, what it is that they are to expect in their environment. So you want to create predictability. Let the child know that this is what I am doing now. After now, it's this. After now, is that. Apart from that, there is you already sowing or programming the child for discipline. All right. The reason a lot of us grow up to be adults who are not disciplined, adults who cannot say, I will do this and see it through to the end, adults who cannot begin something and see it through to the end, adults who do not know how to initiate things, adults who do not know how to move or transition from one activity to the next, adults who do not know how to prioritize what is important per time, is because we were not taken through a system, all right? Because we were not given structures when we were growing up. So we did not cultivate the habit of learning. No wonder most most education philosophies believe that when you have habits, right? When you train children and you train their habits, basically the children become disciplined. Simply, you introduce certain habits to the children, you allow the children to gain mastery of that habit. Of course, you put consistency to it. Before they can gain mastery, there has to be consistency, there has to be a routine, there has to be steps to achieving that thing. As the children go through this over and over and over again, what happens? These things become a habit. Now, if the habit is right, the habit is I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth, I make my bed, I say a little prayer, whatever it is that works for your dynamics. I do all of that. And after that, I do my chore. Tell me how that child will get into trouble, or how that parent will keep shouting, if this is the habit, and this habit has been created and the child has been allowed to go through this over and over again to the point that it becomes second nature, or it becomes a part of the child. When this happens, it is now a part of the child. And so the child knows what to do per time, because you have created a habit of, the system you have created a system, and you have made a habit out of it. And so the child can follow through, without you having to micromanage them. So at the end of the day, the child will achieve something, whether you are there or if you are not there. Can you see what we're talking about? I told the children in the mastermind yesterday, in my message to them, I said to them, even scripture says that we should train them in the way that they should go. Now, how are we doing this? When we have structure in place, when we have a routine, and that routine says we wake up in the morning, after that, we do this next, after this, we do this next, we leave for school at 7, we come back at 2. You have that structure, you know what to expect. What are your parents doing? Your parents are teaching you the way that you should go through the day, right? And then at the end of the day, we have a prayer or a quiet time or whatever, or we have bedtime stories at 8 o'clock. At 8:30, we are in bed. And after that, we go to sleep and we wake up the next day at 5:30 in the morning. What has that parent done for you? The parent has taught you the way that you should go throughout the day till you go to bed at night. What has the parent done? The parent has trained you in the way that you should go. And what did scripture say? Scripture says that you will not depart from it. So there's no need getting too spiritual about these things. I'm sure even the scripture is talking about our everyday life. Sometimes we over spiritualize these things. And so when we say train up the children the way that they should go, all we're thinking of is how we can take them to our place of worship and all of that. It is just one part of the entire thing that is needed. Train them in the way that they should go. What should they do? How do they go about it? How do they talk? How do they speak? What time? Do you understand? This is how to train them in the way that they should go. And what does it mean that they will not depart from it? It becomes a habit. It becomes a part of them. We have trained that habit in the child. And so it will not leave the child, because now the child has built discipline around these things. And so it becomes second nature. So the child will not depart from it, because it is a part of the child. All right. So that's what we're talking about. So let's create those structures, create a structured environment, provide a quiet, well-organized space for the child, right, with necessary tools for the child to work independently, all right? Create a system in your home where the home itself invites the child to learn. The home itself invites the child to participate, to be a part, or to lead that learning on their own. So the fact that your child can reach the things that the child needs, right, for them to promote, for them to learn, the fact that the child can reach the resources, the tools that they need in order for them to learn, that alone is you creating or inviting the child to learn independently. But when the child has to keep depending on you, oh, I cannot do this, I'm waiting for mommy to give me, my hand cannot reach, I cannot get there, I don't know how to do it. Now you have not prepared the child to learn independently, because your system has not been structured physically, mentally, psychologically, for the child to learn independently, for the child to lead themselves when it comes to their learning. All right. So number one is you want to create that structure in your environment. The next one is, cannot be overemphasized also, help the children to create goals for themselves. All right. It's not enough that you're creating goals for your children. Let your children learn to start creating goals for themselves. Remember, we want to raise children, or we want to support our children to be confident in their learning skills. All right. When they are younger, you set goals. Basically, you set goals for yourself. They've watched you set goals for yourself. They've watched you set goals for the family. Gradually begin to help them to set goals for themselves. Little goals. Do you know that something as simple as, when I come back from school, I'm going to make sure that I clean my room right after I have rested. That's a goal. All right. Now they have set the goal. The other thing you want to do is you want to ensure that they achieve that goal. It's a goal. Let them achieve the goal. Okay. So that's where you come in with a prompt, and then with a follow up, with the accountability to ensure that the child who has set this goal is able to see themselves through those goals, basically. And this is how you help them to start learning independence, right? Learning to, confidence in their independence. Now, another thing you want to do now, apart from them setting those simple goals, teach them, raise the bar a little, and have your children set long-term goals for themselves. All right. And they don't have to be like very, very long-term. A goal that the child sets to achieve in 1 month at that level could be a long-term goal. So let them achieve those, or set those set those long-term goals, basically, and let them keep their focus on the goal. All right. Create a system where the child can continuously remember that goal, or where you continuously review the process towards achieving that goal. All right. Every now and then. We do this with the children in the mastermind circle. We help them when they come in to set goals for a whole quarter. And throughout that quarter, their focus is on the goals. We constantly remind them about these goals. We constantly hold them accountable towards these goals. And we have a system that makes you know that it is not today's goal. It is a goal that you have set. So your eyes are constantly fixed on those goals. When you do this, you're programming your child, first of all, and you are directing their focus. You're directing their focus to what is important. So while your children are playing football, your children are playing video games, your children are watching shows, your children are doing all of those things that regular children do, your child has been blessed with the extra, the ability to focus on the things that are priority. One of them being the goals that they have set. They are temporal or medium long-term goals, right? So those long-term goals, let's leave it like that. All right. So your child is able to do all of these things and is able to focus on that long-term goal that could be just a 1 month goal, but for that little child is really long-term. All right. So that way you have your child still do the things that regular kids do, but the child is doing extra because now the child is focused. All right. Now the child is focused and the child is learning to be independent. Dear parents, every child can be independent at their level. There is some level of independence for every level. Whether your child is 1 year old, for every phase of the child's life, there is a level of independence that the child can attain. It is our job to help them attain that level of independence at that level. When the children know that we see them as an autonomy, we see them as a full human, right? And we believe in their ability to direct or to lead themselves. When you do this, you are empowering the child. You are empowering the child, and the child begins to think of themselves as someone who can, as someone that is enough, as someone that is autonomous, as someone that is able to achieve. This is what it really means to be a champion. This is how we set our children apart right from an early age. All right. And there are things that we can do right now, that we can begin to do right now to help them build that confidence. And we're going to be putting all of these in our 14-day challenge. All right. That we will be having in 3 weeks time, right? So the flyer is going to be out soon. No, we're going to be having it in the first week of November. All right. So just look out for it, and you will see that. All right. The team will share with us. I'm not very sure of the date, but the team will share with us in a bit. All right. The other one is offer them guidance, right? Offer your child guidance, but allow the child know that they are autonomous. All right. So offer them guidance, but don't overdo it. Don't micromanage your child. Don't micromanage even your 1 year old. Leave some room for the child to feel like an individual. Leave some room for autonomy for your child, even at age 1. This is how you raise people who are leaders from day 1. This is how you raise children who will lead the pack from day 1. Because the person that feels, I don't need people so much, the child that believes that I can achieve something, is the child that will not go about looking for people to save them all the time. A lot of times we have our 10-year-olds, our 13-year-olds, our 16-year-olds who are still silently or dodgingly looking for some other person to take some other person to take the ball, some other person to take the weight, some other person to do things for them. And this is because we have not allowed them to think of themselves as that person who should do it. All right. I say to the children at home every time, when you come in and something is not right, don't think about it this way, like there's some other person that is supposed to do it. Say to yourself, someone is supposed to do it, and that person is me. A lot of times when we don't allow our children understand that there are expectations, I expect this of you, all right, or we don't allow them feel that you are an individual, you are independent, you can do it, you can achieve it. When we don't do this, then our children never get to the point where they begin to push themselves, right, or they begin to see themselves as people who can. All right, so that's it. Allow your children to offer them guidance, but don't overstep it, don't overdo it. Allow them to lead themselves also. All right, so give me a second, please. All right. All right. So, yes, the next one is you want to recognize their efforts. All right. You want to recognize their efforts and you want to praise their effort, not them. I've seen parents, right? I saw a video the other day and a parent was hailing a child. She was hailing a child and she was saying, you be man, you be this, you be that. See your body, see your this, see your that. Turn around. Can they ever? I mean, why it is okay, right? Is why it's okay for us to think so much of our children. All right. We do not want to trivialize our children's worth and tie it to their physical look and tie it to what it is that we don't want to be the ones to point our children to be people who are praise junkies. We don't want to be the ones that want to point our children to be people who are looking for validation from other people. We don't want to point our children to be young people who wake up in the morning and at the back of their mind is what the next person and the next person and the next person thinks of them based on their looks. You want to always direct your children to see the value that they carry from what it is that they have within and what it is that they can deliver, what it is that they can bring to the table. So everything that your children do should come from an innate ability. Everything that they do, and that is what you want them to look at. That is what you want to point them to. That is what you want them to always recognize. And that is why when they do something, your focus is more on the effort that they put and the place where that effort came from. So you want to praise the place where that effort has come from. You want to praise the energy that they put right into achieving that thing. And then, of course, you want to point them. Always remember to point them to the fact that where this is coming from, there is much more that can come out from there. Meaning, you praise the effort and you raise the bar. You praise the effort and you raise the bar. Your children need to know that there are no limits to how far they can go. The children need to know that there are no limits to who they are. They need to know that there are no limits. There is no cap on what it is or the capacity that they have, what God has put in them. They should be reminded every time of who their God is, omnipresent, and all of that. They need to be reminded every time, right, of who their God is and that they have the ability and the power to transform themselves. That is a power that God has given only to us as human beings to be able to transform ourselves. So your children need to know that where they are today, where they see themselves today, they have the grace and the power to transform themselves to much more than that. So let's not trivialize and put all of their focus on their looks and all of that. It's because we're so focused on those looks. That's why we waste our time and our energy trying to over beautify our children or trying to make our little children look like they're 5 times their age because your focus is on physical looks. Nah. That doesn't do it. That shouldn't be it. All right. There is no need helping the children be more, and yet you're trying to make them focus on their physical look. All right. Let them focus on the inside. Every other thing outside will balance afterwards. All right. Then the last thing I'm going to be sharing is you will have to teach the children today how to manage themselves, because it is when they manage themselves that they're able to manage their time. So people who are able to manage their time are people who focus on the things that are essential. And the thing is, when you focus on the things that are essential, then it means that you understand what is important. And as you focus on the things that are essential, results come from the things that we give energy. I tell the parents and the children in the mastermind circle, whatever you give energy to will grow. Whatever you give energy to will grow. So if there's any aspect of your life that is not growing, say that to the children also. If there's any aspect of your life that is not growing, it is because you're not giving it energy. So when they give it energy, then it will grow. And as it grows, the children become more confident in the skills that they have. They become more confident in the abilities that they have. And this way, our children will be confident indeed and are not afraid to break grounds, to smash ceilings, and then, of course, to be everything that God has created them to be. But then it takes you being present. It takes you understanding what to do when you are present. And it takes you making the children believe in themselves. And this is not just by what you say. It is by what you do together, and how you show up for them. And this is why we have put this challenge for you. We'll put the challenge together. You don't want to miss that challenge if you have children between 1 and 10. Jump in and be a part of that challenge as soon as you see the flyer. It's actually going to be very affordable. I don't know how much the team is putting, but it's really very affordable. Probably 3K or something like that, right? So you can jump in here and challenge yourself and get in, let's do it. Our challenges are usually fun, and they will make you bond so crazily. And I want you to stretch yourself. Make time for your child on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, even if you are not in the same city with them. In fact, if you're not in the same city with them, the more reason you want to do this. All right. Thank you very much for joining me for this episode of the How Can I Support My Child series. If you like your child to be a part of the mastermind circle, we still have some slots that we can take in people right now. We still have some, sorry about this. We still have some slots right now. So we still have some slots right now that we can take in some people. So you want to jump in and get that slot so that your child can go on this 365 days, 1 year journey with us in the mastermind circle. All right. Such an affordable, effective, amazing, vibrant community for your child. So you can join the mastermind circle today. Join while we still have slots. Before you call us one day, I will tell you the slots are taken. We still have slots for this cohort. All right. So you can join us right now. All right. You have the information on your screen. Just use that information to reach us, or use the information to just go ahead and book your slots for the mastermind circle and get not your slots, book and get just pay for the child to join, because we have started the cohort already. Have a fantastic rest of the evening. Thank you for joining me. Let us know if you got value from this session. If you have questions, put it in the comment section, and look out in the comment section in the description and on the screen scrolling right now for the information that you need to join the mastermind circle. Apart from that, pay attention so that you know when we put out the enrollment for the challenge that is coming up, so you can be a part of that fun challenge. I'm excited. I'm always excited about challenges. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day. Bye.